Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Beacons Are Lit, a Lord of the Rings podcast. I'm the host, Mike Marbach, and today I am joined by Kelly Conrad.
Hello.
Matt Guerin.
Hey there.
And Stacy Lyons.
Hey.
Hey, everybody. We got the...
We really gotta get our sign-outs, right?
Hi. The whole fellowship here to discuss our part 4 of Fellowship of the Ring. Before we get to that, though, we do have some news from the Mark.
What news from the Mark?
And it's not actual news so much as news we've made ourselves because we get things wrong on this podcast or don't know things. So as we figure them out or look them up and know what we're talking about, we will have those in this segment as well. And first, I want to welcome to the stage with some Hobbit meal info. Kelly Conrad, what did you dig
Hey
up?
there. You're making this sound so much more interesting than I think it will end up being. And I'm okay with that. So we, in a previous pod, discussed, Hobbit meals, kind of what's what, when happens at what time, or what happens at what time. And did I get it right the second time?
When happens, what meals time?
People can piece that sentence
This is
together.
a correction of my correction. This time
is a
grammar.
correction of my grammar. So what is eaten at what time? And apparently I got this from a trusty Facebook Lord of the Rings page. And I never said where I got it.
8 o'clock is Let's Go, Brandon.
No, apparently if you Google Hobbit meal times, Google will tell you. And it is as follows. So breakfast is around 7 a.m. And then we have second breakfast around 9 a.m. And then get this, we have 11sies at 11 a.m. And then, yeah, right. Checks out. And then lunch at 1 p.m., afternoon tea around 3, dinner at 6, and then supper at 9. I said before, I would love to know kind of traditionally what they're eating with all these meals. We don't get that information, but times are important. So
yeah,
there's that.
Yeah. All right.
No applause. All right.
This is not much different than how I typically eat in a day. I don't know about you guys.
I would agree.
Except for the fact that like my dinner is usually a lot earlier than 6 p.m. and then I have snacks later.
Okay.
So it's like dinner and supper. But my supper's like snacks.
Same for me, I think.
Yeah. I think I definitely eat lunch.
A lot.
I feel like lunch for me is definitely before 1 p.m. I feel like that's
So
kind of a late
11sies.
lunch.
So you have 11sies and then you have like
I'm kind of like a noon lunch gal. It's like noon. I'll still,
classic
Yeah.
lunchtime.
What?
I mean, you're there.
What?
You're there crowd in the drive-through.
okay. So you're in Rivendell
Oh.
while the rest of us are in the Shire, I guess.
Wow. Didn't realize I was going to be bullied today. But here we are.
All right. We'll move on then with a little bit more news from the Mark.
Thanks, Kelly.
That's Matt. Yeah, thank you, Kelly.
Yeah. So last episode, I think I was talking about how Arwen was maybe in Helm's Deep, and that turned out to be true, kind of. She was cut early on in production, but they did shoot scenes with her in the Battle of Helm's Deep and then cut her out. Apparently rumor got out, or the stills of her got out onto the internet, and there was like fan backlash. And that's why Jackson decided to remove her, because people didn't want Arwen where she wasn't supposed to be, which is like fucked up, I guess. Yeah. But the other like inside rumor that I read was that like Liv Tyler was just really bad in the scenes and they couldn't save them. So they tried to cut her out, which is also why the elves are there in Helm's Deep, and the elves don't show up to Helm's Deep in the book. And so like they kind of like cut around her, reshot some scenes, I think. But there is a still apparently that you can like freeze frame and kind of see her horse and her in like a red kind of costume, and her hair's in braids a little bit. So you can kind of spot her still.
It's fascinating because you would have to think how much dialogue would have to be changed to allow Arwen to be at Helm's Deep. Because you would imagine Aragorn would not be excited about the potential of her dying in battle,
Right.
or vice versa, or her, they would have to have a conversation about this. And so I would love to see
They're writing on the
cutscenes.
fly. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I guess they're doing heavy rewrites along the way, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how early into production they shot it too. So they must have had enough time to work with the other elf who like subs in. I can't remember that guy's name, but we'll find out later on.
Yeah,
I
I feel
liked
like
him.
it would just kind of halt the story a little bit, because then they'd have to like say goodbye again.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay, we've seen this already. So I feel like that would kind of stall momentum a little bit.
Yeah. It wouldn't just be her showing up and fighting. It would be like a bunch of one-on-one scenes. You would imagine for this to be
Yeah.
believable that she would
Yeah.
be fighting at Helm's Deep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it worked out.
Wow.
Yeah.
The films are better for it. All right. Thanks for the news from the Mark, Matt and
Thanks,
Kelly.
guys.
Thank
Very
you.
welcome.
So
Reporting from the field, signing off.
back to you in the studio. So continuing where we left off, we have them now headed out of Rivendell, and just a little montage of passing different places, showing the distance that they've gone, and we have that epic moment
Yeah.
of them coming over the mountain with that huge music swell, and we get the Fellowship theme in there. It's perfect.
They all have like their Vogue moment. I feel like they're
Mm.
framed between
Yeah.
like two giant boulders.
Yes.
They all
Mhm.
do the like look like we don't know a camera's there. And it's like windy.
Yeah. You have to imagine.
So epic. It was so epic.
You have to imagine they've been marching for a long time, and
Mhm.
not one of them, except for maybe a little bit Boromir, looks like they've trekked at
Yeah.
all. And Boromir, to be fair,
Yeah.
looked like that at the Council of Elrond.
He
So-
just looks a little haggard always.
He's-
Like he
yeah,
always
he's
looks
a little-
slightly hungover.
Yeah, and always
definitely looks
kinda
like he's
out of breath.
withdrawal.
Yeah, and Legolas especially comes up and like the light hits him and he kind of smiles as he takes in the scenery, and you're like, well, now I'm like, give me a break. But 20 years ago, I was like, Mamma Mia.
Exactly. Oh, absolutely.
There we go.
Well,
again.
yeah, everybody else can get away with like a little bit of like you're not winded, but Boromir, it's like, come on, you're just a regular dude. Like there's no way you're not struggling, man. Come on. But he can take, he must have some like superhuman-esque kind of endurance, because later on when he fights Cave Troll, got to take some hits and is totally
For
fine.
sure. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Broken in half, bounces up, and I think he does a little.
Yeah.
He does just
You
like
gotta
a
know,
head
you
shake,
got-
like a
Everyone's
just like
like-
shakes it off.
See cartoon birds around his head.
Yeah, exactly.
Before we get
Oh.
to that moment, we have Gandalf. Gandalf's basically laying out the course they can't take. He's like, oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. And then at each point, shit goes bad.
Kind of immediately that plan goes to shit.
Very quickly. Yeah.
We have the moment with fun moment with Boromir sparring with Merry and Pippin.
Oh.
Kind
Nice.
of rolling around. Little
Best part of
wrestling.
that scene is Mary going, "Great job, Pip," and Pip being like, "Thank you."
I
And
know.
they like give a little like hobbit, like, "Oh, proud of you, bud."
So
That
cute.
scene does get me a little, because it goes back to like infantilizing hobbits as children when they are grown men, and the little tickle fight that follows. And like,
Yeah.
I very much appreciate affection between men and friendship between men, and I like seeing it, but it's just when there's like a pig pile tickle fight is where I start to think like,
Yeah.
a grown men.
Yeah, it looks like Sean Bean maybe loses the thread a little bit with the kid stunt doubles or something.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, these are children. I can like kind of bushel their hair, kind of rub them around. Like, no. Let's remember these are old men. They're as old
Frodo
as
is once again 50 years old. Let's wrap it up.
And then Aragorn kind of like goes to break them up, and they sweep Aragorn, and I was kind of
Yeah.
like,
They bring
is
him
that-
into the mix.
yeah. But I was also like, the hobbits got the, they're not nothing in a fight.
Nah.
They
Right.
swept Aragorn. That's something.
Where's his
scrappy.
this? A
They have to
ranger
s-
knocked off his ass.
Knocked off his ass.
Aragorn also may have
Try.
been stoned because he is always smoking. Always
Mm.
has
He was
that
he
pipe.
was token on that pipe.
Whenever
He-
they take a
was
break, he is
token.
puffin. They should have called him Puffer instead of a trotter.
Yeah.
Ayo. Got
Stacy's
him.
got that written down. She's been waiting for it.
All right. We're at IQ.
And Gimli is going on and on. Like, why are we going
What
this
about
way?
Moria?
Oh,
I
yeah.
got a shortcut, you idiots. We go through Moria. We got Balin. We got this. We got that. We got everything.
We
And
have a
Gandalf's-
king's welcome.
Gandalf's
Yeah.
response is like not something I wouldn't have asked questions about. Like he goes, I wouldn't go through the minds of Moria unless I had any other option. And Gimli just accepts that.
Yeah.
I would have been like, why?
It's like, fair enough.
Yeah, same. I was like, why are we not questioning that? Because Gandalf gives it stink. He's like, I wouldn't go through Mines of Moria if it was
My
the
last-
last place on earth. If I had no money left, if I had nothing, I wouldn't set foot within 100 yards of Moria.
If I could burn it to the ground, I
It's
would.
like, all right, what's
So
that
do you
about?
think-
Even later when he's talking to Frodo, he's like,
Hmm?
the minds of Moria. He's like, whatever you think, Frodo. It's like, just say
Yeah.
what you want to say.
That there's a fiery demon that dwells in Moria and you're afraid of it. I don't know why you don't just say that.
That's
Do you
a
think
great
that
point.
Gandalf
Just
had
say
any
it,
feeling that everybody was dead?
Yeah, I think he knows what's the dealio. I just don't.
Why doesn't Gimli know?
The only reason I can imagine that Gandalf wouldn't tell the Fellowship is because there's one, he's like not 100% sure if that it will come out if they're there. Like maybe it's there, maybe they can get through it. He doesn't want to alarm anyone. Or two, that he just doesn't want to discourage them from using the mines because it might be their only way. Right. Like, and if he says it and it turns out to be their only way through and they don't want to do it, maybe the whole plan is foiled. But
Yeah.
then he just makes it Frodo's call. And now Frodo has to feel guilty for choosing the Mines of Moria. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
think there's some like chalking it up to fate that he's doing. Like the same reason of like, like it's not a pity that Bilbo didn't kill Gollum because I have this feeling that Gollum's going to play a bigger part in the picture. And I wonder if it's like, oh, Moria sucks and I really don't want to go there, but maybe there's a reason that we do take that path.
Mm,
Like, I wonder if there's some of that going on.
yeah. That's astute.
Still seems like give him a heads up though. Still
Yeah.
seems like just let him know. Like what's
Yeah.
like, all right, we got to take the Mines of Moria. But Fire Demon versus like maybe
Yeah.
encountering some scouts at Isengard. I'm gonna take the Isengard route.
Yeah,
that
they're like
seems
they
like a
get
better
turned
option.
off from the crows extremely quickly. And
Yeah.
they are crows.
Oh yeah, they are super worried about the crows.
Yeah. And if he
I
does
guess
tell
rightfully
them,
so. The crows do
Spies.
tell them about
if he
Paradise.
does tell them about the Balrog, what if he's just like, there's a fire demon and a bunch of goblins? We all gotta be super quiet looking at you, Pippin. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
just a heads up on like the danger. I feel
Yeah.
like
Hey Pippin, like maybe don't walk backwards ever, like for no reason. Like keep
Touch
your eyes
anything.
in front of you.
But
Yeah.
this is like a running theme. Even when the hobbits are throwing stones into the pond, Aragorn's not like, no, the Loch Ness monster octopus is in here. He's like, don't disturb the water. Don't
The
be vague.
Loctopus.
Just tell people what's going on. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
creatures.
They're the
are
ones who
abound.
woke that. They 100% woke that thing up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like it was not awake.
It was.
They woke it up, and they're the
Resting.
reasons they had to go into Moria.
Mhm.
Do you
It's like,
think
just
he didn't
tell
want to
people.
have to like explain or convince them? Like, because then he would have to explain what like a Balrog is, and then he'd have to explain like what he is. And he was just like, it's just too much. I'm too old.
Here,
I don't.
yeah.
It's fine.
We can't go. All right.
Yeah, like,
the way
If it's there, what are we gonna do? Like put extra arrows in our bows? Like we're gonna lose if it's there. Like we're just gonna do the best we can.
it's done. It's finished.
Yeah.
We got to go this
I
way.
don't know.
New business.
I have questions about the decision making process of the paths. Like you said, just go south or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, it kind of seems like Isengard wasn't like that huge of a risk, especially if they're busy, pulling out Lurtzes and Urukai from the mud. You know, they got a whole
Well-
operation going. They're concerned with that.
I don't know. I think going by Isengard is a huge threat. Gandalf was there. He's seen everything that's going on. He sees the army that's being built. He has the spies in the sky. What were they called? The Craven from Dunland, and they're letting them know where they're going. So they could easily send those orcs and Urukai in their direction.
Yeah, maybe he's just thinking the Balrog is probably quiet. Maybe we can just get
He's
through.
sleeping.
Yeah, you're right.
He's a sleepy fire dweller. He's down deep.
Yeah, the passage south is being
Take a little
watched. Must take the pass of Cadras, which completely different climate.
Some may
from,
say
like,
the opposite.
70 and sunny to like 30
Avalanche.
below.
Well, I mean that's Saruman at work though, right?
Sure,
That's him.
Well,
sending a
no,
blizzard.
it's always snowy. It's never
not that
it's
bad.
not it's always snowy. It's not always blizzardy. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
say never.
Right.
I
And
don't know.
thundery and
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
and trying to tear down the mountain.
The scene
Mhm.
where he's standing on Isengard with his hands. And then the clouds are just gathering. Oh my god.
Oh, those clouds are so scary. But
So
before we
scary.
get to that wizard weather fight, can we talk about when Frodo drops the ring and Boromir picks it up and is a total weirdo?
Yeah,
Henry?
yeah.
Because I love
Take it.
I
don't care.
love
Yeah,
that.
that's exactly his
He
his whole
hits him up.
vibe.
He hits him up with him. I didn't even care about this
Yeah.
ring.
Oh, that's the absolute.
You
I
want
cannot.
this?
Yeah, the ring of power. Who? Like
Yeah.
he's like,
I have like a dozen rings back in Gondor that are better than this ring.
Mhm.
it's like, dude, we all saw you be super weird.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw you there, and we saw you at the Council of Elrond being like, why shouldn't we have it?
Yeah.
It's ours. We're fighting for it.
You were holding it up. You were kind of like whispering, like waxing poetic about something about how small it is and how much cause for concern it all is.
He's
Mhm.
You
literally
were
about to
licking
like
your lips. Why are you licking your
lick
lips?
the
man?
ring.
It's cold. out
Boromir,
here.
you're drooling.
Get your
He
tongue back
says-
in your head, boy.
You're like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care though.
What he says
even-
when he's holding it
Well-
is, it's a strange thing, fates, that we must suffer so much fear and doubt over so small a thing, such a little thing. Take
Dude,
it,
that's
I
like
care
really
not.
good. Write that down. Like, I don't know why you're being so weird about it. Like, just give Frodo back his ring and like go to go read that poetry aloud.
Take a poetry
somewhere.
class, yeah.
I don't know. You've got potential, Boromir. Don't hide from it.
Yeah,
Work on a
Frodo's little tumble was not so little. That looked like it
Yeah.
was a
Honestly,
ouchie.
how did I kind of like looked away for a second and I miss and forget how the ring gets loose from Frodo into Boromir's
he
hands.
falls and rolls, and then all of a sudden Boromir picks it up. So I
That
assume
ring is just so insecure at all
It's-
times. Can
it's
we
trying
lock
to get
this
back
thing down?
to its master.
God, lock it down though.
Haven't
You know,
they got deeper pockets?
seriously,
anything?
a closed bag,
Yes.
something.
In the books, to be fair, the ring is always on a chain sewn into someone's pocket. But that's what I'm learning from the first beginning part of the Fellowship. So Tolkien even knows like a
Oh my
pocket's not
God.
great.
They need a
Okay.
chain. They need a chain wallet for the
Yeah.
ring. They need to
Yes.
be walking around like little ska kids going back
Yes.
to Money Money Bastards. Was that on the podcast or was
No.
that before? That was before. All right, peek behind the curtain. It's fine. But they all need little chain wallets going from
Yes.
their little
Have you ever
They're little
been
zoot
close to
suits.
tragedy? Close to those who have.
And I love how Aragorn's like, give the ring to Frodo, but everyone else is in the background just turning and watching, like, we're not a part of this. Like,
Yeah.
What's going on,
This-
mister?
the moment has passed, but I do want to give us an assignment based on discussion we just had. Lord of the Rings related limericks for the next episode. So everybody write a Lord of the Ring limerick,
Right
or
one?
maybe haiku.
Yeah,
Okay.
what's a limerick?
I don't know what a limerick is.
It's
I mean,
like there once
that's
was a man from Nantucket, you know.
Yeah.
I know,
Okay,
but like,
do
that
we know
doesn't
what
help
the
me.
structure?
Yes, it's
Yes.
rhyme. It's like AABBA.
Okay.
Yeah.
AABBA.
BBA. Yeah.
So I want us to
Is there a
write
syllable count?
No.
There once was
Well,
a man
it's-
from Nantucket.
Yeah. Our assignment is to write let's just say a Lord of the Rings poem. You can pick your particular your preferred formats. I'm going to go with
well,
limerick.
I'm gonna do with
You're gonna
limerick
go-
too. I just learned what it was.
I think we should all do a limerick then. I don't want to.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Everybody does limerick for our next episode. All right, then back to this podcast. So Saruman is talking to himself. Oh, he thought he could do this. He thought he could do like any orc guys around there, just like I think he's listening, man.
Yeah,
Did
the
he ever really
crows
have it, if we're being honest.
I did. It's a nice way to work like Saruman into the mix more, though. It's kind of like
Mhm.
Gandalf is like, I'm going to try this. Cut to Saruman. He's going to do this. What a
If the
freaking idiot.
mountain defeats you, will you risk a more dangerous road?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is the puppet master in these scenes. Like you really see him
Truly.
pulling all the strings to get them into the mines, hoping the
Yeah.
Balrog does the work. The question lingers: if the Balrog destroys the Fellowship, how is Saruman getting that ring?
Right?
You would
Right.
think that he would not want him in the mines of Moria, unless the goblins.
Work for
Wo-
him?
Well, unless they could get it.
They're
but I
under
mean-
his employ.
But I mean, they're so afraid of the Balrog too. I'm trying to think
Yeah.
this through. It just doesn't make sense.
Is Saruman's main? I don't know. Is like the main? Is his main deal to get the ring back or to stop them from destroying the ring?
I would think the latter, but I mean, if your
Yeah.
boss is Sauron and you want him to retain his form again,
Yeah.
you got to get him that ring.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's to get that ring for sure.
I know, but I'm just wondering if it's like Saruman being like, if we don't get the ring back, not a huge loss, because then I'll kind of have as much or maybe more power than Sauron, and like, but if Sauron becomes like a thing, an entity again, then that might mess up Saruman's like command or something.
Or
I
if
don't know.
if Gandalf can beat the Balrog, maybe Saruman thinks he can take it. You know, like maybe he thinks I'll just go.
Oh
in.
yeah. Saruman
I'm
is super
already
powerful.
Saruman the White. You know,
and
what's
the
higher than
check-ins
white?
would be awkward if it got lost.
hmm I don't know.
What's Saruman's like, what's the status with the ring? Saruman's like, last I saw, the crows spotted it on the mountains, and I don't know. It's just
Enough with the damn crows, Saruman.
You
Too much
your
spice.
love of the crows has made you blind.
Yeah. So yeah, if the mountain defeats you, will you risk a more dangerous road? And that's where we start saying, "Hur, hur, 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 hur." And there's a There's a foul voice on the air. Yeah.
Oh, how much do we
Saruman.
love Legolas? They show how light Legolas is, so he's just like floating on the snow. That little bastard.
Walking on top
Mhm.
of the snow.
Yeah,
Or
so
like
Like
in
sweet.
the-
temperature.
Why is he not carrying the hobbits? He could be helping to carry the hobbits if he's that
Mhm.
light, you know?
Well, it's
Yeah.
Boromir wants to. I think
That's true. Boromir
Well, and
definitely
Sam
wants-
has
Aragorn
Bill.
won't let him take Frodo, so he's got to take Merry and Pippin.
Yeah.
And Sam has to walk Bill the pony.
I can't believe
Yeah.
Bill went all the way through
I
that
cannot
avalanche.
believe they brought Bill up to the mountains, but when they got to the mines, they're like, he can go.
Yeah.
Like, you should have let him go before you
Bill-
went through the pass.
He's not
Yeah.
given enough attention in the movies. The books are really like Sam and Bill are like closer than Frodo and Sam for like a while. Like they are like having a real romance there. And then in the movie, it's like you dismissed the donkey and kind of made it a thing of it. And it's like, wait, who was Bill? Like in the movies a little bit.
Yeah, I think they just
Very-
threw that line in
Yeah.
just to appease fandoms. There's-
Bill fans.
But I mean, an
The
avalanche
huge Bill
would
freaks out there.
probably take a horse down, I'm going to guess. So
I liked Bill. I liked Bill. And I
Yeah.
even
Of
though
course.
Bill doesn't get the screen time that he deserves, I do find Sam's bye to Bill to be really, really sweet. And the way that
Mhm.
Aragorn goes,
Yeah.
don't worry, Sam, he knows the way home.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
yeah.
It
That
was
donkey is
really
dead.
sweet.
Dead.
Yeah.
Bill is a pony.
Yeah, sorry, I said
You-
monkey.
Yeah, people
I
keep saying
should
donkey.
know.
Bill is a straight up pony.
Okay,
Okay.
well, that pony is dead within a day.
Not thinking if like A, Bill's probably not going to make it home. And B, if he does, how alarming is that going to be to everyone in the Shire that Bill just comes back alone?
Oh wow, yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Some supplies on it, like,
Like-
oh shit.
Yes.
Well, where did they get Bill? In the books, I believe they get
They got him from
Bill from
Bree.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
that's
that
true.
where they get? They don't get Bill from Bree in the movies, though. I
I
think
guess they
get,
do, but we don't see it because they do have no. They have
I
him
don't
with Gandalf.
They have him in Rivendell because they're like
Yeah.
loading him up. I'm imagining they get him in Bree.
but we don't
but
see
I-
them on the trek from Bree to Rivendell.
No, you're right. Probably
So-
Rivendell then.
Yeah.
They have a pony in Rivendell.
Yeah.
Oh,
Keep
so
him around.
cute. I love Bill.
Gandalf tries to calm things down, but he is outmatched greatly
Yeah.
against Saruman, and they're having their little shouting match at each other. He's too powerful. We have that avalanche, and we must make for the Gap of Rohan. No, it's too close to Isengard. And Moria, and then Saruman once again talking to himself. You fear to go into those mines. The dwarves delve too greedily and too deep. You know what they
You
awoke in
know
the
what
darkness
they
of
awoke.
Khazad-dûm. Shadow
love
and
that
flame.
part.
Yeah.
Oh,
love
and then
it.
they flip to that image in that
Mhm.
book, and it's just
Oh, it
eyes in
looks
the shadows.
So cool.
Mm.
That is cool.
This will be the death of the hobbits. And then
Boromir,
Gandalf is
all
like,
he's thinking about.
you know what?
Yeah.
Let the ring bearer decide.
Yeah, really.
You know
shirks
what? Yeah,
that
like this is
responsibility.
just
3,000-year-old
he's
wizard.
now put all of the blame on what happens in Moria squarely on Frodo and Pippin's shoulders. And if he had just said, "There's a
There's a Balrog there.
yeah,
Yeah.
not sure I can take
Yeah.
it. Just FYI, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, like let's go for the Gap of Rohan."
He really does give only the absolute necessary information when it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like when they're facing the Bower. Hey, what's that? Oh, that's the demon
that
of the ancient
foe
world.
is beyond any of us. It's like information that would have been useful yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like that is so much pressure for Frodo to decide. He handled it really well, but I feel like if someone asked me, Kelly, which way do we take? I would not answer.
Yeah,
I'd be like, oh, is this not a group decision?
yeah,
Mhm.
Can we vote?
yeah.
Like there's no way I am making that choice for all these people.
Perhaps Gandalf was like prepping him, like he's getting him some reps in decision making done. He's like, hey, chances are you're going to have to make some big choices on your own later that are going to affect the entire world. Might as well get started now. I'll
That's a fair
lobby an
point.
easy one.
Mhm.
Choose between two places. Either way, we're kind of screwed. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm doing work for Gandalf, maybe, but
No,
that's
I think
maybe.
that's
a
Yeah,
chance
I mean,
option.
there is a lot of just like a communication gap here because I just don't understand how no one is just like, why don't you want to go through them? Like they know why they can't go through the Gap of Rohan. It takes them too close to Mordor or whatever. Why? Just someone ask why. I want to know the answer.
Yeah, I agree. Just it's like a sitcom kind of problem. It's
Yeah.
like just somebody ask like the question that needs
Someone
to be
ask
asked
the question.
already.
I'm asking the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's being strangely elusive
Mm-hmm.
about this whole situation.
Yeah. And then did Gandalf already have his little kind of quick heart to heart with Frodo about
No,
like
because he
No.
knows he's
Okay.
about to die. So as
Okay.
they're heading
Mhm.
for the mines of Moria, he's like, Frodo, come
Here.
for a sec."
Yeah,
And
he
at no
pulls one of
point
those.
is-
Go
At
ahead.
no
Helping
point
all
is
the
Frodo like, why are you talking to me about this right now? And why are you so hesitant to go on the mines?
Yeah, it's
The lines
true.
he has are good though. Does kind of set the stage. There are many powers in this world for good or for evil. Some are greater than I am, and against some I have not yet been tested. So some setting of the stage there. So it's kind of saying some things, but that's also like we're saying that could have been a conversation
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Yeah. So we do get to Moria, and the doors are hidden. And the thing that annoys me about this is as they're doing that, speak friend and enter, and Gandalf is failing to do it. Gimli's not doing shit. Gimli's not doing anything. Like of all
I
the
can't
people.
understand why Gimli, why Gimli doesn't know about the Moria situation to begin with, why he doesn't know the password to get into the place, and why he doesn't know where the door is. I'm like, I thought this is like your cousin or
And
something.
why he's not even bothering to try.
Right.
Yeah.
Gimli, get off your goddamn ass. These are your friends. Okay. This was like your idea. Be a host. Show us the goddamn door.
The whole trek, he's saying, "Oh, let's go to the mines, Moria, huge feast, Balin, blah blah blah." He gets there. And
You gotta go to Moria. It's so great.
He's like,
Moria
you see Gimli like
everything.
He's like playing like Wordle on his. He's like playing Wordle on his phone in the background. Like, oh yeah, Gandalf's got this. Like, I would be livid if I was on a road trip with my friends and one of them was like, "We gotta stop in Chicago. We gotta stop in Chicago. I have so many friends there. I'll show you around." And you're like, "Oh, which highway do we take? I can't remember." And your friend's just like,
Well, it's like you get to Chicago and they're like, "Oh, where should we go to dinner?" They're like, "I don't know, Yelp it." Yeah, and it's like, wait a minute.
Do we need to find
you
a
wanted
hotel?
to go to Chicago.
Oh. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if there are hotels in Chicago. Let's
And I just want to also be very clear. It was just the first city that came to my head. I don't want to compare Chicago to the mines of Moria. I don't want anyone to be mad at me about that.
Disclaimer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's
I
also
agree.
pre-Moria when it was at its height, I'm sure. All right. So he's struggling. Speak, friend, then enter. And it's not working. And then the funniest thing in one of the funniest things in the movies is when he tries to just push it.
He gives it such a gentle shove too. Like it's rock. Like you would have to try pretty hard, like if you wanted to like even budget, you know?
Well, he was pretty cocky. Gandalf was actually pretty cocky. Well, yeah, he's agitated. He's cocky. He's like, obviously, this is how you open the door. Like he didn't even
just speak the password.
Exactly. Yeah. Mary's like, what do you suppose that means? And he's like, well, it's quite simple. And it's like, oh, okay. This dude is grumpy.
Yeah.
He's hangry. He's something.
He doesn't want to go in
so
there.
angry.
He really does not want to get.
Yeah.
Maybe this is just a ruse.
Yeah,
he
just,
gets
stalling.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets so mad at Pippin so quick. He's like, oh, maybe if I could just think for a second, okay? You just give me 1 second to think, okay?
Yeah.
Jesus. God, all right. So, friend.
He threatens him with violence multiple times.
He's so harsh on Pippin. So harsh.
Oh my gosh. The insult to come. Whew.
Pippin hasn't even like earned it yet. Like,
No.
wait until Pippin wakes the Balrog and then you can yell at him.
There's layers of fucking up that are occurring because you have them having to go to the mines. You have those two throwing rocks into the water.
To be fair, no one told them not to throw rocks in the water. There should be like a little sign maybe that says, "Don't throw rocks in the water.
Don't disturb the water."
Or Aragorn could have just be like, "Hey, everyone, real quick, don't touch this pond right here. It's not good news."
Yeah.
I mean, in their defense, if you have a bunch of rocks and a body of water, I'm throwing rocks in that water.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm skipping around.
I mean, it's taking Gandalf an hour. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. I see a good flat-sided, smooth, kind of oval rock. I'm skipping that baby across that pond. You betcha. I'm gonna get a good fiver out of that one.
And you know what? If it's not flat, I'm gonna see the biggest kerplunk I can make because I do that.
Yeah.
Wes and I go
kerplunk.
kerplunking all the time with rocks.
Oh, I love Kerplunkin.
Wasn't there like a Nintendo game called Kerplunk, or was that
There was a board game.
That's
or like a family game. Yeah.
It's like a game that looks like two soda bottles mashed together, and there's all these straws stuck in it, and you pour marbles on top, and then you Jenga the straws until the marbles fall through.
I'm just picturing a gravity bong.
It's close
you got
to
it,
that.
Dude. It's just like
That's it, right? That's it, right?
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah, Puffer.
But which, by the way, I thought there had to be. It's Tolkien. Got to be a really cool name for that octopus thing that comes out of the water.
Loctopus.
Nope, Googled it. I
was just saying Loctopus.
It's just called The Watcher in the Water.
Ooh, creepy though. That's creepy.
It is. I
Has
guess
that
maybe it is a good like
crazy-
folkloric type name. Like
Yeah.
it's so primal it hasn't even been named yet, kind of deal.
Or
All right.
like it's
Yeah,
so
you're right.
elusive, people haven't seen it. They just know. Yeah, it's something that's maybe been passed down.
It
Generations.
cannot be that elusive if it comes out if there's a slight disturbance to the surface of the water.
Well, maybe it just
cannot.
came out this one
Some big
time
rocks in there.
because there's like a big group of people and the ring's involved. Who I'm sure that maybe people have seen it because it's massive, but the Watcher makes me think that it's doing more seeing than being seen, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay. Out of nowhere. Oh, I get it. It's a riddle.
Yeah.
What? Speak friend and ender. Gandalf, what's the Elvish word for friend? Melon.
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 It's melon.
That'd be great if it was just like,
Melon.
Yeah. Having that with the subtitles on is so disappointing because it is just melon.
Gandalf, what's the Elvish word for friend? Melon. Melon.
Amazing choice on Ian McKellen's part. If that was just written in a script, MELLON or MELON, and it's melon.
Melon.
Perfect.
And then they get in there, and then no sooner are they in there.
Like that Gimli
does
starts
the-
running his goddamn mouth again.
Oh,
He
you guys
still
just
doesn't-
wait. This shit is gonna be insane. My dude Bailey, he's gonna come out, and this party is gonna be nuts. You guys can't. You wait and see.
He's
Dude.
like not even looking at the ground. He's like
No.
stepping over corpses as he's talking to them. Like it's nothing. And everyone else is like, "Are you
Oh, pardon me. Excuse me.
Oh.
Like,
Pardon me.
how do you
They're
not
corpses.
feel that something is off?
the smell alone?" right?
Boromir gets it immediately. He's like, "This is not what
No
is
mine.
what's the line?
It's a
It's
tube.
It's a tune.
It's a
Oh, what a
tune.
good line. What a good
Amazing.
line.
Because right before
Amazing.
that, Gimli's like, they called us a mine. A mine.
Mine. It's
Yeah.
like
It's not
some
mine.
dwarf joke that no
Yeah.
one gets.
First of all, it is a mine. And second of all, no.
Yeah.
It's a
And
tune.
like in a few minutes, Gandalf will be like, "Follow your nose. This way it doesn't smell so bad." It's like, what did you smell when that door opened up, dude?
Yeah.
Just
Must have
Flies,
a punch in the face.
maggots.
Yeah, Legolas, where's your elvish sight then? Couldn't see all the dead bodies everywhere. What's going on?
Mhm. Yeah. So
Oh my
they
God.
decide to turn around, but are attacked by the Loctopus, the Watcher on the water. Is that what the name
In
was?
the water. Watcher
In
in
the
the
water.
water.
And it goes that moment where it kind of retreats, but then it comes back with all the tentacles and
Oh,
starts
so
grabbing,
many.
like everything. Oh, it's scary.
And
this
its
is also-
mouth,
Good.
I was just going to say, its mouth is unexpected.
Yeah.
You think that like,
Its
like,
face is unexpected. It has like
unexpected, yeah.
Poseidon's face and like
yeah, it
octopus's
kind of
arms.
has like an alligator face
Mhm.
structure and then opens its alligator jaws, but then it has like a little mouth within its like
Yeah.
throat.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
got like an
little mini
alien
mouth.
type situation.
Yeah,
where there's a mouth
layers.
within a mouth. Yeah.
yeah, and it's
Mhm.
got a taste of for hobbits.
Oh,
Yeah.
clearly.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and like effects wise, it holds up pretty good. Like
It's pretty good.
I'd say it's as good as most movies right now. Like
totally
it's
agree.
totally serviceable as for 2001 CGI.
Totally.
I love this part too because I love that this is our first glimpse of them calling for Legolas to do things. They
Yes.
love to tell
Yes.
Legolas to do things, and this is the first chance they get to be like Legolas, and he turns around and he gets it in like the eyeball or the mouth, or,
In the
you know.
eye. Yeah.
Yeah, which is I'm going to bring this up in a little bit. I think you know what I'm going to say, but anyway, hold on to that image. It's important that we talk
I
about
don't,
this.
and I can't wait. Let's
Okay.
Yeah, me
Okay.
neither. I'm
Okay.
I'm on the edge of my seat over
I
here.
don't want to skip ahead too far, but go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, goes under, comes back with all the tentacles. They're slicing and dicing. Legolas is doing his thing. They're trying to get away, and we now have but one choice. We must face the long dark of Moria.
Be on your guard.
There are old and fouler things than orcs in the deep places of the world.
Mm.
And it's a 4-day journey to get through that
in the
shit.
dark.
3-hour
days.
tour. A
Yeah.
3-hour
tour.
And does Gandalf put a little crystal in his
Yeah.
staff, or was that
He
already
blows
there?
it. He blows
Okay.
on it.
All right.
Yeah, this is the first of Gandalf's many light tricks.
It's got some light
in the
tricks.
trilogy.
You just
Keep 'em
imagine
coming.
there's like a little switch on the side. And he's like, click.
I would love if Gandalf just like pulled out like a green glow stick and just kind of cracked it and just wedged it at the top. Of
There are
the-
fouler things crack than orcs crack.
Hands out those necklaces.
yeah. Starts playing Tame Impala and they get on their way.
Yeah, cruising. And who is it? I think Gandalf is the one that's saying the wealth of Moria is not in gold or jewels, but in mithril. Another line
Oh,
just
yeah.
before we see exactly that.
Oh,
I
Frodo's
am-
expression during the scene is so cute. And he's like, oh, I never told Bilbo, but that mithril is worth
Mithril,
more
you
than all
say?
of the Shire. And Frodo's like,
Mm.
what?
I
Out of the
love
Shire.
that tidbit of like how valuable mithril is, but I'm also so glad that they took that out of the theatrical version because it just makes like when we finally
Yeah.
see the mithril, it's just so exciting versus like looking
Yeah,
back on it. I'm
spoiled.
like, oh yeah,
Didn't need it.
exactly. Yeah,
Didn't need
exactly. It's just too close to when it's revealed. Like at
Mhm.
least, the callback's too soon.
That's it. I didn't know it wasn't in the theatrical. That might be a good example of the theatrical cut doing a better job.
It is, Matt. It is.
Yeah.
What
We're
of
gonna
you?
call it. We're not going to call it the theatrical cut. We're going to call it the Kelly cut
Kelly cut.
No,
because Kelly gets it. Kelly gets it.
I get the theatrical version. I do. I love extended. I get the theatrical. We can go on.
I have no memory of this place. So he's
And Aragorn
Know
just
where they're
starts puffing.
yeah, he's just
Time to
like,
get high.
Yeah.
Maybe the Balrog wasn't why Gandalf didn't want to go to Moria. Maybe it was because he wasn't
Didn't
sure
remember.
the way. And he didn't want to get to this point.
Didn't want to get him lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're there hanging about, and Frodo spots Gollum, and he's been following us for 3 days. So we escaped about a door, escaped, but was set loose.
Love that. Love that.
Gives him a little backstory. Smeagol is once like you. And then he's like, oh, we should have killed him. And then we have that moment we talked about a little while ago. Many that live deserve death, and many that die deserve life. The pity of Bilbo may hold the fate of many. Great little
I love that.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
And he tells them to what does he say? Like, don't be so quick to deal out death and judgment.
Death and judgment,
That's a
yeah.
great line, too.
Mhm. And then
He's really laying
Frodo-
down the lessons before he has to fight this Balrog.
Yeah.
Very, very heavy
Between that,
lessons.
and his previous
like-
one, which is like, what is it? What all we can do is decide what to do with the time that is given to
Oh.
us. Between that speech and this speech, Gandalf is like, I'm dying. Here is
Yeah.
everything I know.
Yeah.
That's one of the best quotes, in my opinion, of like the trilogy, the movies. It's quality, not quantity. It's like, it's not the life you have, it's what you do in that life. So great.
Does Gandalf have a home?
Is that the same speech? Sorry, is that also in the Moria that he says?
Mhm. What to do
It's
with
like
this-
it's like
All we have
on
to
the
decide is
way
what
when
to
he
do.
pulls Frodo aside, and Frodo's like, I wish this had never come to me. And
so
he's
do all
like,
who live to see such times, but that is not
It's
for
like-
them to decide.
it's after they leave the mountain on their way to Moria. Gandalf catches up to Frodo and he's like, come walk with me for a
Okay.
little
I
bit.
thought it was
Yeah.
all still in this Moria part, but okay.
No,
yeah.
it's that,
Yeah.
and then there's this.
And then right after he finishes that, he's like, "Oh, I know where
That
we're
way.
at." Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know where we're at? No, I just know it doesn't smell that bad over there. So let's go that way.
When in doubt, follow your nose.
Yeah, let me risk a little more light. And then they get to the Great Hall of Dwarendwelf,
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
where there's
You could
lots
just
of bodies.
imagine it in its heyday though, and it
Yeah.
makes you have this like deep respect for the
Mhm.
dwarves.
Yeah.
Craftsman,
Gorgeous.
yeah. So majestic.
Lots of bodies.
Imagine
Gimli
a
runs in and
feast.
sees everyone gone. And we see Balin's tomb.
Oh, so sad.
Sad.
With the one beam of light on it.
hmm Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Gandalf
remember
picks up
though,
that old
first
book.
time seeing this, I was just like, who is like, who is this? Like, I was like, I understand we're in a tomb kind of related to Gimli, but I was like, what's the whole deal with this? So I don't know. First couple watches didn't land on me at all, but later on, I was like, oh, cool.
His
This is nice.
cousin.
It's sad. It's
it's
his
like just
cousin.
layering in. There's
He's
some,
just
like,
finding out
history.
about it, and then Gandalf starts reading like this war book,
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
he doesn't need to be reading while
No.
Gimli's mourning.
No.
but he does.
And they're all already scared. They see death around them, and then he's just reading this like, they are coming.
Yeah, picks up the scariest passage of that book.
Yeah.
He's like, let's just go ahead and share this to lighten the mood.
Yeah,
I'm
Hey,
just
opens right
shocked.
into it.
Maybe put down the Necronomicon. We don't really need that right now. Okay.
Aren't you just shocked? Barmir's not like, you're scaring the little ones.
I know. I love
They
the way
can't
that
read this close to bedtime, Gandalf.
that
Boromir,
children.
they're adults.
I do love the way that book looks and sounds, though.
Hmm.
I just think of like the prop person. I'm like, oh, they had some tea. They
I was just
burned
gonna
those
say-
edges.
Mhm.
I know how to make a book look old. Yeah, I really enjoy that. And then if you look at the end, the like penmanship is like scribbled. So literally
Mhm.
they were writing this as they were being
They're
attacked.
coming.
Ouch.
They're here. Oh, he got me.
Ouch.
Yeah,
I'm just
I
gonna
would just
after I finish this sentence, I'm gonna pick up my sword.
why are they not
How do you
moving
spell
so much faster
in
than
dwarf?
this, you guys? Why is Gandalf reading this book? I'm just like, urgency. There's a Balrog. There's goblins. Gollum's right on your tail. Like, let's go.
And
We don't
Pippin,
need
he
story
can't be
time.
Pippin can't be read too. He's looking for a place to lean now. He's bored. He's gonna yawn,
Mhm.
and then he knocks that skeleton down that infinite well that goes on.
Pulling
for-
everything with it.
Oh, yeah.
Moria's
Imagine?
speaker.
Yeah.
It's
It really was.
it's a comical amount of noise that I really appreciate how
Yeah.
much Jackson leaned into.
The
Just like, and then a
chains, the
chain,
helmet,
and then buckets.
body
and-
armor.
Yeah.
A
And then it
bucket.
catches Pippin's leg and pulls him in. Like, it's just,
In all the areas, like it seemed like that noise just reached every corner of Moria.
Yeah.
Like he did a good job with that.
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
Oh, but
And
poor
Legolas
Pippin,
was getting
his
uneasy that
face.
whole time. He's just like, we got to keep moving.
Yeah.
This is fucked up.
He was a little nervous boy.
And everything
Yeah.
falls, and there's that great like couple seconds where everybody's like, maybe,
Sighs.
maybe,
Maybe no one heard that.
maybe no one heard that. We're good.
Then that deep
Maybe there's
drum.
no one here. Ah, man.
Oh, the drum.
And then it's you have like no idea what's coming. They do such a good job of building it up in this scene because like you have no idea really what's coming.
no.
Just
Mhm.
that it's horrible and terrifying. And then when it gets there, it truly is horrible and terrifying. Like those orcs are so scary looking. The cave troll bust. Am I
Yes.
skipping ahead too much?
The
I'm just getting
room-
caught up.
The
in-
room is like
Caught up.
small. There's one exit and it's barred. Like I remember watching this being like, how are they going to get out of here?
Yeah. It seems like an Alamo like last stand. Like
Yeah.
they are up against it. There's no way out.
They have this incredible shot that looks like a video game where Gimli's on the tomb, kind of like swaying. They all have their weapons drawn and they're looking at the door. I'm like, I want to play this level so
Yeah.
badly right now.
Dude.
Yeah.
Let me tell
And
you
then
that level's
games.
super fun in that game. It's really
Games are
good.
great.
It's really exciting.
Well, then there's that iconic line of they have a cave troll.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shuts
Yeah.
the doors, puts the little latch down.
And you
Amazing
just- and you
delivery
hear
again
it.
by Sean Bean.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the sound of that cave troll is so scary. Like just
Ah.
man. Like what's a cave troll gonna look like? I haven't seen the Hobbit movies yet. I don't know what a cave troll is gonna look like.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they bar the doors. Legolas, and he's throwing the maxes and he's
Yep.
barring the doors.
Doing his thing.
A piece of wood breaks away and Legolas, pew. Again, remember that, you guys.
Okay. All right. This is leading up to your thesis. This is like
Yeah.
argument one. Okay.
This is my first few opening
Okay.
remarks.
Legolas doing his moves. The troll sets his eyes. He gets a little fixated on Frodo.
Yeah, he's a little obsessed.
Well,
Well, okay, so I guess this is, I'm going to have to, the troll bursts in. Legolas loads up his bow and arrow and he aims for its heart. Now, I don't know about you guys. I don't think that that's the best place to put an
Yeah,
arrow.
I
If
got
you're trying to
thick
take a
skin.
monster down, I'm thinking the eyes. I'm thinking if
Sure.
Legolas just takes out its eyes, then, maybe it's thrashing wildly, but you can kind of sneak up on it and whatnot.
Yeah.
Sure.
But why does Legolas, with all of his dead on balls accuracy, as Marissa Tomei would say, why does he shoot for the heart?
Mm.
That's a really good point.
For a normal thing, probably.
He shot the Watcher in
Yeah.
the water in the face. Guys.
I don't know.
Maybe it was just like
yeah.
a test shot of like, will this do? And I think maybe he probably used 2 arrows. Maybe he thought that would work.
Yeah.
Well, he did the
Yeah.
heart one, and then later on he got on its back and he did 2 into the brain, which
Yeah.
is like,
Right.
mwah.
Right.
Which
We're
is,
getting there now.
Which
Like,
is one of his
gorgeous,
go-to.
yeah.
It's one of his go-to moves, and
Into the head.
yeah, it's a great move. I mean, maybe it's hard to believe that Legolas hasn't come up against a cave troll at this point.
Yeah, he also put it, I think, in the right side of its chest now that I'm thinking about it, and that's not a heart shot. I think it's just a shoulder shot.
Well, that's assuming
Well, we
cave
don't
trolls
know
have the
where-
same
yeah.
anatomies.
That's
that.
true.
as-
Maybe Legolas knows some stuff. I don't know.
Let's-
You're right, Matt. You're right.
Let's consult the internet. We'll find out
Yeah.
what cave troll anatomy is. We'll get back
Redacted,
to you
point
all next
redacted.
week.
Yeah. Great
Sure.
hem's anatomy. Yeah.
Look out for news from the Mark next week.
Yeah.
You'd be like, I have autopsied a cave troll.
I would
It's
I would
not
buy
what you
that
think.
book.
Its brain is actually in the right shoulder. Anyway, that's
one
that
quick
part
thing we
gets me.
skipped over that I really enjoy was when the orcs were starting to arrive. You can hear them before anything even happens, and we see Sting glowing.
The sting.
Oh,
yeah.
And he's like,
glows.
Mr. Frodo, Mr. Frodo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, it's
And
glowing.
Sam pulls out a frying pan. Is that what happens? Isn't he fighting with a frying pan in this scene? Am I making that up?
I think they all pull out swords, but the pans come out later.
Okay.
Mm.
So we're to assume that he replaced his sword with pans. Yes.
I'm just not comfortable with this, Mr. Frodo.
No. Use what you know.
Cast iron, baby.
So Aragorn saves Frodo at one point, and then he himself gets knocked out, and then Frodo gets speared. There was also Boromir who gets thwopped
Oh
across
my
the
God.
wall.
Really
Yeah,
quick,
like whipped.
Sorry, I have a really bad dumb joke about the sword that I wanted to get out. If I
Yeah.
could, just really quick. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good
How
setup.
much better would it be if? Yeah, I know. There's no way it could fail, right? How much better would it be if Sting, instead of glowing blue, just started going, every step you take, every move. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be
It would be
fun?
wonderful. It'd be wonderful.
That
If they could get
That's
the
what
rights.
happens at night when Frodo's trying to sleep.
Every little thing she does is magic.
Can you, if you like shake it, it will skip. Remember that was an option for like old iPods, the
Yeah.
iPod Nano. If you shook it, it
yeah.
skipped.
Oh no!
It was the worst feature.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was good,
Yeah.
Matt.
It was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
Sorry.
good.
So we're talking. What are
Anyway.
we talking?
Boromir just
Boromir
got
is like-
ragdolled.
Yeah, he got ragdolled against the wall. He's out.
Oh, right. He should be. But
He's out
not.
cold.
He's out for
He just
or no, he's
gets back
not.
up.
He's out for a
Aragorn
second.
is out
Yeah.
for a minute.
Aragorn looks at Boromir and he's like, "You good?" And Boromir's like, "Bloop," and he's like, "I'm good." And so then Frodo's shouting for him. He's like, "Aragorn, Aragorn," and he's chasing after him. And my heart is swelling at the
Yeah.
"you have my sword" moment of this.
Mm,
Yeah.
Oh,
mhm.
I love that little Aragorn head nod. Are you okay? That he gives to Boromir.
mhm.
I thought that's a moment that I definitely miss from the extended versions because that I don't believe is in the theatrical version.
Mhm.
But that I really love that moment between them. It's kind of like my version of Frodo's smile that Matt likes so much.
Oh.
Yeah.
Never gonna
so
live down that
Aragorn
smile.
Saves him and then gets knocked out, and then the troll is victorious, he thinks, in spearing Frodo. He gets him.
He might have been. He might have, taken it back out and gone for another. Had Merry and Pippin not in a last
Jumped on
stand
his
for the Shire, jumped on his shoulders and started stabbing away.
I like
The
that
bravery.
they both flip their swords from like foregrip to like back grip, or I
Yeah,
don't know, whatever you
attack.
call
Yeah.
it. That sounds like what it is though. And then they just like start going in. But I
Yeah.
like that they both were like, it's time. Like,
Yeah.
jump on. Yeah.
Boromir taught us this.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
For the
Yeah,
Shire.
that's great.
Yeah. And then they finally take down the cave troll.
The sound it makes as it dies too is so fun because it's kind of funny.
It's kind of sad. Like you're like,
It's also kind of sad too.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Yeah.
a whale, like
Yeah.
a big whale or something.
It's like
Very much so.
Blackfish. You guys watch Blackfish?
Oh, Stacy.
Oh my
Oldie
God.
but a goodie.
Oh my God, it's hard.
The Blackfish? That's a funny way to refer to a very disturbing documentary. Oldie, but a goodie.
Old but a good documentary.
Oh, that SeaWorld one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Showa, a real oldie, but a goodie.
So they all rush
All right,
to
let's calm down. Let's not
Frodo.
go from SeaWorld to the Holocaust quite yet.
They rush to Frodo, turn him over, and he's just like, "Hey, I'm okay. Everything's cool. He's alive."
Hot.
Is that Parks and Rec when he takes that drink? He's
Shot
like,
of
"Hey,
whiskey.
oh."
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And he's okay. Everything's
I don't
all
I don't totally understand how it worked, because the blade on that spear is like as wide as Frodo is, and
It's strong material.
It's as hard as dragon scales.
it goes
Have
up
you
to the
tried to
hilt.
stab a
I just
dragon
don't understand
scale?
where the blade went. I
It
don't know.
just pushed him a little bit
Yeah.
backwards.
It's great. It's great. Who
Matt.
cares? It's
He's got
Yeah,
some
the
kind of bruising.
impact.
It's great.
Yeah, the impact will still hurt, but it's not going to pierce the mithril.
It's
Yeah.
like in movies where they get shot with the bulletproof
Yeah.
vest on and they fall down unconscious and then they pop up and they're like, I had the vest on. I just got
Mhm.
winded for a moment.
Mm-hmm. I think there's more to this hobbit than meets the eye.
And everyone's eyeing the mithril and they're like, that's worth more than the Shire. How can I?
Yeah.
Boromir's like, I want that.
I don't even care about Frodo's
Southern
armor. I have
now.
my own armor. It's good.
Have you seen my horn?
All right, so they are now running toward the bridge of Khazad-dûm because there is an insane number of orcs on their tail. Like
Yeah.
a ton.
Yeah,
Like a
there's
billion.
so many. There's an entire. They're
a
crawling. They're descending from the columns. They're crawling from every which corner.
They look like bugs. They look
Uh,
like an ant
That's when
Orcs
they,
coming
this
out
is
of-
when they circle
Mhm.
them and then the
Yep.
flames start coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gandalf has this little moment where he finally tells them,
Maybe now is
They
a
need
good
to know.
time to say.
he gives them a
that.
kernel of what's to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Boromir's like, "What is this new devilry?"
Yeah.
Oh, love that.
A demon of the ancient world, the Balrog. A Balrog, he says. A Balrog. So
Right. There are
there
multiple.
Balrog?
Yeah.
Balsrog?
How else do you get new bull
Balsrog?
rogues?
Balrogians.
Balrigs. Balrigs.
Well, and I love the move where your villain, like the villain that you have in front of you, goes away because
Mhm.
there's another villain. It's like,
It's great. Yeah.
oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pulled that move.
Yeah,
The
just
camera
like in
work-
the Meg
Yes.
when
The
the
camera
bigger sharks
work
are getting
in
scared
this-
off.
whole mine is so
Yeah.
good, you guys.
It really is.
So especially once they leave that room, I mean, we see them running. Like first we see
Yeah.
that like the goblins or orcs descend. I think they're goblins at that point, right?
yeah, I think so.
You know,
I think those are goblins.
I
they
think
say
then-
goblins when they get in the mine initially, and then they
Sting is
start referring
blown.
to them as orcs. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
But when they are like running to the bridge, there's that shot from above where you're like watching them run away from you and below. Oh my god, it's
Yeah.
so good.
You're totally right, Stacey. It really milks that huge hall of columns.
Yeah.
Like it really plays that space and it shows just
Oh,
how small they are in comparison to the whole environment, and just
Yeah.
like carries that momentum coming from that last stand, very confined scene. Now we're in this great hall and it's sweeping when we're running, and it's very exciting.
Yeah, it's going
Yeah.
from these close-ups to these like wide angle shots to these overhead shots, and I'm just like, your tension is building. My heart is pounding. They're
Music is
jumping.
great.
They're jumping gaps.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm a big
One of
fan
the
of the Mines of
lines I
Fire.
like is, "This foe is beyond any of you. Run!" Tells Aragorn to lead them on. Swords are no more use here. We have that cool shot of the Legolas arrow cam. It's like out of Sam
right.
Raimi's playbook.
Yeah, yeah. Totally.
Right through the head. They get to that bridge. I don't think it's Khazad-dûm, but another bridge, and they're tossing.
Yeah. This
It's
is
like
a
a
totally
break in
Tossing
the, it's a
hobbits.
break in
Yeah.
the stairs, and Boromir
Mm.
almost tumbles and Legolas like heaves him back, and you're like,
This is a totally
also
like
such dwarf.
invented sequence. Like it's not in the book at all, and it's very exciting, very cool. And how that whole column collapses and they gotta balance themselves on it.
That didn't age as well as you would hope.
Watcher.
It looks a little odd. Still on board. The bridge breaks and they cruise to the other side. The music pipes up with the victorious dun dun da da da, and then to the bridge, fly, and then the Balrog becomes visible, and nobody's moving. And they're all just like, "Oh shit!" That we're dealing with. And he's like,
I would just be like,
Well, at this point,
did you know about this?
they're like behind them. It's just flames, right? Like, so the Balrog is close at this point. I would just be like, I'm hot. I'm so uncomfortable. It just seems so hot there now. And the Balrog's roar is like, sounds the way that a fire would sound if it could roar. Just like really cool sound effect.
And it's like almost like monkeyish.
Yeah, it has like
moves.
Its head is almost like a snake head or something. Yeah, and it can kind of jet out pretty far. Really creepy.
Do you guys think Andy Serkis voiced the Balrog?
Probably.
Wouldn't be surprised.
What can't the guy do? It's just
seriously.
So
Yeah. So they do get to the bridge. Gandalf is there. You see him stay. Frodo turns around. He's like, "No, what are you doing? You cannot pass. I'm a servant of the secret fire, wielder of the flame of honor. Dark fire will not avail you. Flame of honor." Does the whole like thing. And it's whipping.
And then nothing really happens. I guess it's on the "you shall not pass" that he like strikes the bridge again.
The Balrog takes a step forward, right? Like, I'm gonna pass. And Gandalf's like, let me make it clear. Okay.
Balrog's all, I am gonna.
Watch me.
Like,
dare me.
Like, bestie, no.
Yeah.
I almost kind of feel like the Balrog's doing a little like, oh, okay, is this like safe? Like he's giving a little like ice, like walking out onto like thin ice. He's kind of like,
or like feeling for a step in the dark.
Yeah.
Like, is this good? Is this
Can this
stable?
hold my weight? What's the weight limit? What's the weight capacity on this bridge?
It is a small. It's a pretty little bridge.
Oh, it's super tiny. Everything
it's a little
in there.
bridge.
They're made for dwarves. I guess that's the deal there.
And
go back to the shadow. He pulls out that whip. And then we get that classic "you shall not pass."
Iconic.
Takes a step forward, falls down with the bridge. We think everything's okay, and then this petty son of a bitch.
The classic. Gandalf turns around. He like cracks his back. And then the whoosh.
The whoosh. And then
turns out I'm up to the test. Past that one.
And you watch the scene and you're like, why don't they just go pull him out? Why does Gandalf let go? Like, you have so many questions, and then it's like, don't worry, these questions are going to be answered. You know?
Yeah.
I remember being like, because the Balrog's gone. Like, let's go pull Gandalf back up.
Yeah.
No. He's thinking.
Hold him down. Gandalf. And then we get that moment where he's hanging. Gandalf is hanging. Often thought that he says, "Run, you fools," but he doesn't. He says, "Fly, you fools." Earlier, when he says to the bridge, "Fly," so it's the second time within this scene that he uses that term. So, "Fly, you fools." The slow motion, the music, the emotion
Frodo
of everything.
Scream.
And then we get to everyone just kind of sitting around grieving, and then we'll leave it there.
Yeah, because I have a lot to say about that scene.
So we're going to start next episode with the grieving. That's good.
We're going to start off on a high note. Yeah. We were actually, for this episode, we were supposed to stop right after they escaped the cave troll. But it makes more sense to stop here, I think, with the death of Gandalf.
Question mark.
You fools. Yeah.
there's like a ton of stuff about people saying "run, you fools," which is
Mhm.
apparently in the original theatrical release. Gandalf did say "run, you fools," but then it was edited to be "fly, you fools," and so some people may have seen the "run, you fools."
Oh, it's the
Maybe
I
it's
Mandela,
like
I never saw the run.
Mandela
I
effect.
thought it was "flee, you fools" for a long time because "fly" didn't make sense to me. So I was like,
I
he
thought
must
it
have
was
said "flee."
Make like a tree and,
And leave.
you fools.
The original theatrical cut was "get GTFO, you fool."
Yeah.
Fools. Let's hit those winners and losers and call it a night, shall we? We'll start with the losers. Kelly, who you got? Who lost this particular episode?
A lot of people.
Yeah.
But
Mostly.
I think what comes to my mind is Gimli. I'm gonna say Gimli is
Oh, yeah.
my loser for a couple of reasons. He was really vouching for a place that ended up sucking pretty hard. He found out this whole kingdom was gone and
Mhm.
perished, and he found out his cousin died, which seemed
Yeah.
like they were close. So
Yeah.
rough one. And he's, well, I guess not totally responsible because Frodo did choose Moria, but he's like somewhat responsible for like being such an advocate for this route. So
Yeah. Yeah.
old Gim, son of Gloin is my loser.
Sure. Good one.
Thank you so
Stacey.
much.
Oh,
That's
I'm
fine.
just gonna have to say, as much as it pains me, my BFFL Gandalf may have
Mm.
lost this episode.
Sure.
Every turn he took got thwarted in some
Every
way.
breath. Yeah.
He really
took.
did, and then it ended with such
Every
an
trail he
unpleasant
takes, every
scene.
path. What is it? Moana.
And the place I know where I can now go. Moana, that's a good one, Matt.
I'm
Or Disney though.
staring at the
Yeah.
mines of
Sorry, Stacey, go
Moria.
ahead.
No, I think we all know why I'm saying this. It's not an interpretive choice. He literally he lost a lot in this. And I mean, that's not to say he was a loser, because there was a lot to be gained from this, and I understand that. But I mean, he's not having his best day.
For sure.
Another good one. Matt,
No.
who you got?
I'm gonna have to say the Watcher in the Water didn't stay
Yeah.
long. Got his ass kicked. Never seen again. Never heard from again.
Like an
Possibly
improv
the
show.
worst.
Yeah. And he had one job to do, which was his name, which I guess was maybe watch this entrance, perhaps. I don't know. And he didn't do a good job, keeping watch, I guess. But
Yeah.
lost a couple tentacles.
Yeah.
Hope you're doing all
And
right.
an
Watcher.
eye.
Yeah.
I am going to match. I don't have a new one, so I'm going to match Gandalf for reasons previously stated. Yeah, did not have a good episode for.
Yeah. I think he's probably
this
the biggest
span of time.
loser.
Yeah.
I
Biggest
mean,
loser of this one.
also Pippin. I want to give an honorary
Oh,
mention
yeah.
to Pip. He keeps fucking up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might have been able to get much further had he not knocked everything available into the speaker of Moria. And let's hit those winners. Matt.
Well, it's hard to at the end of this, Gandalf dies, so it's like everybody kind of loses a little bit that were here throughout. But maybe, maybe Frodo, I guess, because he had that mithril and he was pretty prepared, and that paid off. So
Huge payoff.
I don't know. There's not a lot of winning going on in this chapter of the movie, I feel like. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit's getting dark. Yep. Stacey.
Yeah, I agree. This is a tough episode. I guess I'll say Saruman.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
I mean, he's succeeding in a lot. He got that big storm
sure.
going.
Yeah.
His crows worked.
It's gross.
There was at one point where I was like, oh, if he knows they're on the mountain, why doesn't he send the ring wraiths? And then I'm like, in every single episode, I pick a ring wraith as a loser. He's probably so done with them that he's just
Yeah.
taking matters into his
Mhm.
own hands. And it's working. I think he got what he wanted. He
The
wanted
ring
to
race,
read minds.
they're a lost cause at this point. They're
They
just like,
s-
go
they
home.
suck.
Okay. You know what? You guys blew it. You had your chance. You blew
I
it.
couldn't
Out of
see
sight,
them
out of mind.
running around in all that snow.
Yeah.
I would like to though.
They came back after the last episode, they came back like sopping wet from Rivendell. And Saruman was like, enough.
Yeah.
He was back. He's like, "What the fuck happened to your robes? What happened? We just got these
soaked.
robes. They're all burned up."
I'm gonna have to get you new old looking robes. Those robes were aged so long. You know,
Go to Barad-dûr, and whatever you do, don't release Gollum.
Something about
Gulp.
that, boss. Oh, jeez, we really screwed the pooch.
they're the
and-
fumbling idiots behind all of the misfortunes throughout the franchise.
Kelly.
I am happy to say that my winner for this segment is Bill the pony.
Oh man.
Bill gets out at a good time.
Bill gets
Yeah.
out at a good time. Unfortunately, he had to go through the pass, get a little cold. That was probably really uncomfortable. But yeah, he doesn't have to go through the discomforts of Moria. I don't even want to think what would have happened to Bill if he
Yeah.
hadn't, been let loose. So Bill is my winner.
Yep. Bill was
good
my
one.
winner. I'm going to go instead with the Balrog, as the winner, because although he did get knocked off the bridge, got that last minute revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got that last minute revenge. We don't know what's coming, if anything, but for now, it appears as if that petty son of a bitch has gotten his little revenge there. So
Which, quick plug for that fire whip, though. That fire whip, so cool.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Really
Stunning.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of
Whips.
Whips in general. In general, give me a whip.
Have I got a film
I got a
trilogy
whip
for you?
collection.
there?
Sticks and stones may break my
Bum, ba-dum,
bones.
bum. No, a big fan of fighting games, and I would love a Lord of the Rings based fighting game, like a Mortal
That would be
Kombat.
so cool.
So you get
Yeah.
Gandalf, Saruman, the Balrog, Aragorn, all of them in there.
Yeah.
All their special moves and everything, some of which they had in the Electronic Arts games. Does anybody say Electronic Arts in the EA games?
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
no idea what you were saying for a second, Meg.
I literally, as you were saying it, zoned out.
Wonderful. Well, it would be a pretty great fighting game, and if I ever win the lottery, I'm going to fund it. All right.
That's a great idea.
That is our episode. We are back with more of the Fellowship of the Ring, part 5 of the Fellowship of the Ring. And we'll have some poems as well, apparently. So we'll have that to look forward to and to write. Thank you to my fellowship, Matt,
Thank
Kelly,
you.
Hello.
Stacey.
Yeah, thank you.
and thank you all
Thank you.
for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.